Hello. So previously we worked on adding a user's controller with two actions, index and show. And in the index, we can see all the users. And in the show, we can actually navigate to a user's page and see his details. And also we added device trackable to see how many times a user signed in and from what IP address the user signed in. And now we're going to add more functionality. But first, there is a thing we should really improve on. So if we sign out, for example, we get this notification signed out successfully, and it is not styled at all. So let's kind of give it some shape now. And where do we get these notifications from actually? Well, if we go into our application HTML ERB, we get this layout messages. And we created this when we were creating a device so that we can tell our users that they need to sign in before continuing, and tell the users that they have signed in successfully. And actually, this fires notices and alerts. And what are those notices and alerts? So the documentation about them can be found in this action dispatch file. Oh no, not here, not in the file handler. In action dispatch flash. So these are kind of flash notifications, either notice or alert. There are two types, notice and alert. And we can actually add a flash notice or flash alert to any page. For example, if we add something like this to our user's controller, I'll just copy this flash notice and add it into our user's controller. Let's go to user's controller. So for example, whenever we go to the user show page, we will get this flash notice. You are on the user's page, let's say. Okay, so now I will log in and go to my page. So I'm redirected to my page, and you see, you get this message, you're on a user's page each time you refresh. It is because I've added this flash message. And going back to the documentation, so there is a type notice and a type alert. So notice and alert. And we can actually write some better code for our messages partial so that we can get the notice and the message of this notice, or alert and the message of the alert only when we need them. So we would say something like flash dot each do, and we have a key and the value. So the key is notice or alert, and the value is the text of the message. So like it would be key or type and value, the message. Okay. And let's try to display them. We'll say equals key and equals value and end. Okay, now I will refresh. And you see, the key is notice and the value is you are on a user's page. And we can actually remove this old notice and alert, and let's see what it gives us. So you see, we already don't have all these enormous spacings that we had between the content and the header, because we removed the two notifications that had paragraph tag by default. And we get this notification. So notice you are on a user's page. And looks better, but we still would like to add some additional style to this. So let's say if the key is notice, then we have a green background, and when the key is alert, so something bad, it will have a red background. So we would have a div, and the div would have a class, and the class would be some kind of background, so background. And the background would be conditional. It would be conditional based on the type of key. So if the key is notification, it's going to be green, let's say. So if key.to as equals notice, then we will have success. Otherwise, we're going to have danger. Okay, something like this should work. So let's remove the key from here and let's see if it works. So you see, it is success. Now you see, we made an inline conditional here. So if the key is noticed, then we have success. Otherwise, we have danger. Looks nice. Okay, now let's see how would it look if the key was not noticed but alert. I will just change it to alert here, and you see, so it is danger. Now the colors look really harsh to me, and we can actually change the colors. So if we go to the list group documentation of Bootstrap, we can see that we can add just list group to make it not so harsh. So let's say we'll have not background, but list group here. List group item, success or danger. And you see it is not so harsh. Now let's also move it a bit to the center. So I will just actually put the layouts messages inside the container like this. Okay, looks a bit better. And we can actually add some more spacing. So we would also have some kind of paragraph here. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't add this additional paragraph. Why? Well, doesn't really matter. Let's try to add a break instead. So we'll add a break. And here we have this break. Okay, now do we still have this break if we don't have this flash? Let's see. Refreshing, and no, we don't have the break. So looks good. But anyway, we would want to have some kind of break here between the content and the header. So we can actually add a break on inside our layout. Let's see. And looks fine. And now let's go back and add a flash alert and see how it looks. Okay, now it has too much space. So what if we add a break inside just to make the alert a bit wider? Or actually we can add some kind of card group for the alert. Let's say card. Yeah, let's make it a card, for example. Yeah, so now it's bigger. And what if it is a card body? So, okay, looks a bit better. And I can actually remove this break. Okay, looks fine. So now we have our basic alerts. And if I sign out, how is it going to look? So signed out successfully. Looks quite fine. And just one more thing we'll do. We can add a button to turn off, to remove this notification if you just don't want to see it on the screen. So how can we do this? Yeah, so we can actually add a link to dismiss this message. Now we're going to add a role to this class to be message, for example. Okay, and here we're going to have a link. So and it will have a type data dismiss, and it's going to be named message. So we're going to dismiss this message, and the href, so the link is going to be to this current page. So a href is going to be like this, and we can have some kind of X, for example. Let's see if this works. This is just more like HTML stuff. So sign in, and we get this X. Now let's dismiss the message. We dismissed one message, and we can't dismiss this message because we always have it whenever we redirect back to the user's page. But we managed to dismiss that message. So looks good. One more thing, we can just style this message a bit more. For example, we can add a font awesome icon instead of the X. Now let's add a font awesome icon. I will say I, and it will have a class. It's going to be FA times. So we refresh, and now we have a nice item, a nice icon to dismiss the message. Looks fine, and that's basically how you can build up notifications and some kind of basic styling for notifications on your own from zero. So let's move on. Let's first save our changes. Get status. So what I've done, yeah, I'm going to remove the flash alert. And here I've also done some really minor styling. So I've moved the messages inside the container. and some really minor styling for the other pages. So git status, git add all, git commit main styling for notifications. Now it's not ideal, but it's already something. And git push. Okay, so now we're going to go back to diving deeper into Devise. And previously we have added Devise lockable, and let's see what other Devise modules we can add. Now, if we just navigate to our user.rb, we see that we have Devise confirmable, lockable, and timeoutable that we haven't added yet. So let's try to add them. Now let's have a look at the documentation. So Devise confirmable. We would like to let our users confirm their account if they log in. So let's see, Devise confirmable. How do we add it? And we can actually read some documentation on Devise confirmable inside our config initializers devise.rb. Let's just find confirmable. So yeah, here we have the configuration for confirmable. We can allow unconfirmed access for some kind of period of time. For example, a user has 2 days or 1 day or 10 minutes to confirm his account. And for this period of time, he can already use the application. Usually I would set it to 0 days so that users cannot actually use the application with fake email addresses. So it will be 0 days, but before we actually add these settings, we would first want to add confirmable to our users model. So you see, we have these migrations that we'll need to run to actually add confirmable to our users model. So let's run the migrations, Rails generate migration, add confirmable to users. And what do we need to add in these migrations? Let's have a quick look. So I will just copy this into our DB migrate, into the migration that was just created. Okay, I'll just copy the inside part. We don't need to override that it is an active record migration for 6.1. So what does it give us? We give the users a confirmable token, confirmed at timestamp, the time when the confirmation was sent, the confirmation token. Then we can have this unconfirmed email. If we're using reconfirmable, let's have a look at what reconfirmable is. So if true requires an email change to be confirmed. So basically, if the user wants to change his email address, he will have to confirm these changes with an incoming email. So I would actually add this also to our confirmable. Then what else? When we run this migration, you see, it also automatically suggests to confirm all the existing users. So if there were users that were created before confirmable was introduced, it would automatically confirm the users. Now you don't have to do it, but we'll do it. We're not losing much. And now we can actually run this migration. Now I will also just add this because we are going to use reconfirmable, and run the migrations, Rails DB migrate. Okay, and now going to devise.rb. So we're going to say config allow unconfirmed access for 0 days and confirm within. Well, this doesn't matter much already, I guess. So anyway, the users will not be able to access the application with an unconfirmed email. And by default, they can confirm their email anytime. So in a year or in 5 years, and we can actually make the confirmation token to expire if we want, but I'm not going to make it so that the confirmation token expires. It doesn't really make sense to me. And we're going to use this reconfirmable. So any email changes have to be confirmed. Now the confirmation key is email, and we're not going to use rememberable right now. So, okay, we are going to start using confirmable. Let's try to start the server and create a new user account. Okay, and let's log out now and sign up. So we're going to sign up with some kind of random email address. And what is it going to give us? Okay, welcome, you have signed up successfully. Okay, actually we managed to sign up and we didn't have to confirm our email address. Why is it so? Maybe we shouldn't have gone to our device RB and added this setting. So by default, it is 0 days. So we should have just kept it as it was. It was 2 days and it was commented out by default. So if we don't have this setting uncommented, it must not allow any unconfirmed access. Okay, once again, I will start the Rails server and refresh the page. And still I can access the application. Okay, let's see if my account is confirmed. I will go to users and I will actually add a field to see if the account is confirmed. Now, how do we check if the account has been confirmed? Let's check the API documentation for Devise Confirmable. Well, I wouldn't really name it API documentation. Let's see. So we can just check if the user is confirmed true or false. We will just call user.confirmed with a question mark and see if the user is confirmed. And we don't get this setting. Okay, I know what the problem is. I actually forgot to add confirmable into our device settings. Rookie mistake. So we have added confirmable and now it should actually work. I will restart the server. Okay, and you see, now we have to confirm our email address before continuing. So I cannot continue. Now let's actually try to confirm the email address. How can we do it? I will try to, I will press didn't receive confirmation instructions. This was the email address. I press resend confirmation instructions and it actually sends an email. We can see this in the console. So here we get this email to localhost 3000. It is because we've set localhost 3000 in our development RB. So if we go to our config, here in environments, we've set up development RB to have the default URL options to localhost 3000. So to be able to confirm this email, I would actually just take this part of the URL and paste it here. So my development URL / users confirmation token, and here is this confirmation token that was generated. And let me try to confirm my account. And you see, it says your email has already been successfully confirmed. So I have just confirmed the email address, and now I should be able to log in. So once again, I will have this email, the password, and log in. Okay, so the sign in was successful. So I've created an account, then I received a confirmation email in the console for now, and I confirmed the email, and after confirming the email, I could actually sign in. So it kind of worked. Looks nice. Now, actually, it would be really interesting for us to automatically sign the user in after he confirmed his account. So the point is, by default, when you press the link in your email to confirm your account, you just get this notification that your account, your email address has been confirmed, but it doesn't automatically sign you in. So we'll make it so that we get automatically signed in when we confirm our account from the email link. And actually this documentation is also present in the documentation for confirmable, so we can add it quite easily. So first of all, it tells us to create a new confirmations controller in the controllers directory. We'll actually create this confirmations controller, but we'll do it not in just the controllers directory. We'll go to controllers, users, and inside the users folder, we will have this new file named confirmations controller. Okay, and it suggests us to have this code inside. So we have confirmations controller, and let's just copy the way it is set up with the omniauth callbacks controller. So we have this module users, and then we have confirmations controller, just like this. Okay, and inside we have private after confirmation path for resource name resource. So it's going to be user. We sign the resource in, we sign the user in, And the path is going to be, what's the path going to be? We can actually have a look at our application controller where we set the after sign in path is going to be user path resource. So user path, the user, the current user. Okay, something like this. And let's actually test if this works. Actually, it won't work yet because we need to add this inside our rules. Let's go to our rules.rb. And here we have our controllers, omniauth callbacks, and we will also have confirmations. So we will have, let's make it look nicer, device for users, controllers, omniauth callbacks, and we'll also have confirmations. So comma, confirmations, like this. Now something like this should work. I'll just add some additional tiny formatting. And looks kind of fine. Okay, let's see if this works. Now I will restart the server. So stop the server, now Rails S. And now I will try to create a new account. So sign up, let this account, password confirmation, okay. Sign up, we got a message. I will confirm it. Oh my God, I needed a drink. Okay, I will confirm the account now. So we add /users, confirmation token. And you see, we confirmed our account and we were automatically signed in. So it kind of works. Looks nice. And now what if we sign up with a new account that would be from an omniauth provider, for example, from a new previously not signed in Google account. So let's sign in. I'll take some kind of other account. And you see, we get this message, you have to confirm your email address before continuing, even if they log in with a social provider. And it's really common not to have to confirm your email address when you log in with a social provider. So we'll go back to our omniauth callbacks controller and remove this. We'll actually automatically confirm the user's account when he logs in with an omniauth provider. So for this, we'll go to our models, user RB, and here we have this method from omniauth where we save different user stuff, and we will also say something like user.confirmed at equals time.zone.now. But we can actually make it look even better. There should be a module named skip confirmation. So we can just call user.skip confirmation. Okay, and now let's try to sign in once again. So I will take the same social account and sign in again. And when we sign in, we should also skip the confirmation. So I'm taking the same account. And you see, I skipped the confirmation and we have confirmed true and we are signed into our account. So our workflow for confirming our accounts looks and works very well in our development environment. And how will it work in production? Well, first of all, let's save our changes before pushing to production. Okay. So what have we done? Git status. We have added confirmable. So 1, 2, yeah, we can actually add all. Git add all, git commit main, devise confirmable, git push. And we've done a migration. So when we push to Heroku, we can also type Heroku run Rails to be migrate. Okay, I have pushed the changes to Heroku and run Heroku run Rails to be migrate. And let's actually see how this devise confirmable works for us in production right now. So I'm going to actually sign up with a new account. So let's take something random and sign up. And what happens? You see, we get this, we're sorry, something went wrong. Why is it so? Let's type Heroku logs tail to see what the problem actually is. So I don't see much right now. Let's try again. I will resend. Okay, I will try to sign up with another account. Let's say ABC2, and we might have more Heroku logs visible. Okay. So yeah, it should be somewhere here. Confirmation instructions. Okay, here it is. Missing host to link to. Got it. So action view, template error, missing host to link to. Set default URL options. Okay, so, well, basically it's that we can't send an email because we haven't specified how we want to send emails in production. And let's define this. So we would go to our config environments.rb and actual production.rb. And here we would set up how we want to send emails in production. And we should actually do the same for development. We should add more settings on how we send and receive emails in development. Now, again, you don't have to remember how to set up your action mailer options. You can check it up in the Rails documentation in Rails action mailer. So here are the documentations for Rails action mailer basics. And let's have a quick look. Actually, it brought me directly to the right place. So example, action mailer configuration. And here we have a few settings. So delivery method, perform deliveries, raise delivery errors, and default options. Now for development.rb, if you're using localhost, you will just have localhost port 3000. Otherwise, you can have your Cloud9 environment, for example. So for me, it would be something like this. Host would be this URL. Okay. And what else shall we add? So perform deliveries true, raise delivery errors true. Let's actually see if we have any default action mailer settings here. Action mailer. So we have by default raise delivery errors false, perform caching true. Anything else? No, not really. So that's actually possibly enough for our development environment for now. Let's go to production environment. So here we would have perform deliveries true. Do we already have any action mailer settings in production.rb? Let's see. We have raise delivery errors false, perform caching false. Okay, ignore bad email addresses and not raise email delivery errors. Do we need it or not? Well, we will not need this setting right now, but we are going to say perform deliveries true. Let's add this somewhere on the beginning. So config action mailer perform deliveries true. Then we are going to also set the default URL options. So for us, it's going to be our website. So https superrails.com. We actually don't have to say https here. We'll just say superrails.com, and we will say protocol will be https. Okay, and we will also say that delivery method, it is going to be SMTP. Action mailer delivery method will be SMTP. Now we might have something here about it. So config action mailer delivery method SMTP. Okay, and we have a default configuration for Gmail. For example, let's add this here, but we're not going to use Gmail. We're going to use Amazon Simple Email Service, Amazon SES. Okay, do we have anything for SES? Not really. Okay, let's find how we set up Amazon SES. We'll go to AWS, to our AWS dashboard, and go to SES, Simple Email Service. Amazon Simple Email Service. And we'll need a couple of API keys. Here, it also says that we need some kind of username and password. So here we are in the SES management console. I'll go to domains. I have just one now. I will need to verify a new domain. Okay, generate settings, verify the domain, and I will verify my domain. Okay, I'll need to add these records. So I'm going to Namecheap, where I'm hosting the domain at the moment. And I will need to add this txt record to cnames. And I'm not going to add this MX record because I'm not going to use Amazon SES to receive inbound emails at the moment. Okay, here is the domain I'm going to manage. Now to advanced DNS. And I'm going to add a txt record with this name. So new record, txt, here's the host, and here's the value. Okay, and now to move cnames. So we're looking for cname. It's going to be with this name. We actually don't need to add .superrails.com here, I guess. But we might need to add a dot. I need to actually check. Anyway, for now, I will go and see how I've done it in another domain name, because this can actually sometimes be an issue. You don't know whether you should add the .superrails.com or just dot, or without the .superrails.com. I'll go and see how I set it up for another domain. It was Amazon SES. Go into advanced DNS and I'll see how I did it for another domain. Okay, let's see. So here, yeah, I don't have dot and I don't have that domain name. So you see, this can be a little tricky. So just domain key in the end. And this is going to be the value. And now something similar for the second cname. So without .superrails.com. Add in a new cname, host, and the value. Okay, confirmed. And now I will wait a bit and see if the email is confirmed. So now let's try to refresh and see if it finds the values. So no, it is still pending verification. Okay, it can actually take quite a while for the domain to be verified on the AWS side. So we're not going to let it stop us. For now, we'll proceed without it. Now, we will go to SMTP settings to get an API key and secret. So we go to create my SMTP credentials. And it should slowly bring us to a page to create a new IIM user that would have the credentials to use AWS. So we will name it Super Rails. Simple email server SMTP user. Then we will see our SMTP security credentials. So we have the SMTP username and password, and I will add them to our application credentials. So I'll stop the server. And go to the application and run editor, Vim Rails credentials, edit. And inside, I will type set paste so that it is easier to work with the file. And we're going to add credentials for AWS. Actually, we already have by default AWS, but we'll do it not for access key and secret access key. We would do it underscore. simple email service, so SES, and inside we will have something like ID, and let's paste this ID, and secret. Now, did I erase something? 2744. And secret. And what will the secret be? It's gonna be this one. Okay. Now there might be too much space here. Yeah. Now I will save and exit the saving. So this is the path AWS, SES, ID, or secret. Let's see if it works. I will type rails.application.credentials.dig AWS. We get this, then we'll dig into SES, and we will dig into something like ID. Okay, works. Perfect. Now we can add this to our production.rb. So here we are going to have, instead of the username, we will have Rails application credentials dig ID. Like this. Then here we will have secret. Then authentication is going to be plain. We can actually make it like this. We don't need this domain. And the address is going to be an AWS address. Now I will close this and go back to SES, back to simple email service. And we'll see what our address should be. So SMTP settings, here is the server name. It's going to be right here. Okay, we've got the server name, the port. It's going to be possibly 587. Let's actually verify. Yeah, 25 or 465 or 587. Then we have the username, the password, authentication plain, and enable start TLS auto, true. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's actually see if it works in our development environment. We will add all these settings into our development environment and try to send an email via AWS simple email service. So I will start the server. And now I'll try to log in with my Gmail address. Possibly. Okay. So I will log in and I will go through forgot your password to get an email definitely. We'll see if the email gets sent. So we should send the email via Amazon SES. Let's just see if it gets sent. Send me reset password instructions. Okay, and let's see the details of the email sent. So the email is sent from please change me at Devise. We should actually change this. And it was sent to my email. Let's see if I received this email. Actually, having checked my email, it looks like I didn't receive it. And there are two reasons. First, I should have restarted the server before or after I added the email settings to development.rb. So let's try to do it. I will restart the server, Rails S. And yeah, I should also have set raise delivery errors to true. So we will know if there was an error with delivering the email. So I set it to true and restarted the server. And now once again, I will go to forgot your password. I add my email address and I expect to receive a real email. And you see we get this message rejected. Email address is not verified because I tried to send from this email address and it isn't from a supported domain. So it is not from Cosigo or Super Rails, and it is not one of the verified email addresses. So now I can send only from the domain at cosigo.com or from hello@cosigo.com. So anyway, I can verify an additional email address for Super Rails, or I can use the one that I've verified previously. Now I'm not going to add a new email address. I will wait for the whole domain to be allowed. And in the meantime, I'll go to my initializers, devise.rb. And here I'm going to change the email from which I send the Devise emails. So by default, it is please change me. I will change it to my email address, hello@cosigo.com, that I have already verified in the AWS portal. Hello at, what's wrong with it? cosigo.com. Okay, I've changed this and now I will restart the server and it should work. So I must actually be able to send the email and it should be delivered. Now see my environment is restarting from time to time. It happens. So kind of AWS reloads the Cloud9 environment. It's okay. Rails server. And once again, I will try to deliver the email. So again, I press resend. And we get this email. So it should have been delivered because we didn't get a delivery error. Okay, let's see if the email has been delivered. Yeah, here I have this reset password instructions. So the email has been successfully delivered. And that's how we can add confirmation emails to Devise. Works very well. One more thing that we will do, we'll go to our app. Here we have our mailers, application mailer, and here we're going to add a default from. It's going to be hello@yourdomain.com. It will be Cosigo for me for now, but later I will change it to Super Rails. So hello from your domain, and we also set the default from email in devise.rb. So looks fine. And we have now set up emails for production, and no, we are not going to use the same emails in development. We are going to actually comment this out or totally remove it. We don't need to actually send emails into real life from our development environment. So the delivery method is going to be test, and perform deliveries is going to be, well, it doesn't really matter now. So looks fine. Now let's save our changes. We've actually added sending emails in production with the AWS simple email service. So what have we done in application mailer? We've added a domain name. Also, we've done the same in devise.rb. So we are adding these to files. Then in credentials, we've added our API keys. In development.rb, what have we done? We've set raise delivery errors to true, and we have added the new URL. And in production.rb, what did we do? We've added the details that we need to send emails with AWS SES. So git add all, git commit main, send emails in production with AWS simple email service. Okay, looks good. Now, what are we going to do next? Actually, let's have a quick look. So do we raise delivery errors in production? We should have actually added this also. So we are going to raise delivery errors. Okay, and in development, we also do it. And now we are going to also get some kind of emails in development. So for this, we're going to use, for example, LetterOpener. So let's find the gem LetterOpener. And we will add this gem only to our group development. So going to the gem file, adding the gem LetterOpener. Now let's actually add it in the development group on top, or actually doesn't matter. We are not changing any gems that are on top. So we are just adding LetterOpener and running bundle. And we'll set the action mailer delivery method to LetterOpener and perform deliveries true. Now let's go to development.rb. And we are changing these two lines with the other two lines. So we're going to perform deliveries and send them to LetterOpener. And now we're going to restart the server and see if it works. Now I think we don't need to do any other changes. So Rails server. In the meantime, I can refresh the production and see if we still have the error. Okay, so we don't have that previous error. And let's see if we have our email saved in development. So for example, I'll press forgot your password. I will input an email address, send me reset password instructions, and it says unable to find a browser command. Okay, this is a regular error with this gem. So we should add something. Let's see. Okay, so we tried sending an email in development to LetterOpener, and we got this error: launch command not found. And actually, there is something about this in the LetterOpener gem documentation. So we would possibly need to set the following env variables. Let's see if we can easily do it. I'll stop the server, try to run these two commands. Who knows, maybe it just works. And start the server. Now resend. And no, it still, of course, doesn't work. Okay, here's what we actually have to do. So if we go to our application, we can always type printf to see all the current environment variables. And we want to add the two variables as launchy dry run true and browser dev null. So to do this, we would type something like export and then launchy dry run true. Now if we type printf, let's find launchy. It must be here now. You see, it says launchy dry run true. And now we'll do the same with the printf. So we will, with browser. So we type export browser dev null. And if we type printf, then we should be able to see this browser dev null here. Okay, so now I hope it works. This was actually quite tricky. I resend once again. And okay, we didn't get the error. And let's open our TMP folder. No, not test folder, our TMP folder, LetterOpener. And we get actually 4 emails. And if we open one of them, I'll open preview. And you see, so we got the email. And we can view the emails like this. So it is more comfortable to view the emails like this in our development environment. And it was quite easy. Now I will actually add this to our README for us to remember how we can print the environment and add environmental variables just like this. So printf and export browser dev null and export launchy dry run true. So it should be much easier now. LetterOpener on Cloud 9 or on a Docker environment. Okay, looks good. And now let's actually save our changes. So what did we do? Git status, git add all, git commit main. We added LetterOpener, and we just added the gem, added the environmental variables, and set the delivery method to LetterOpener. And we don't have to add this. Okay, we have perform deliveries true in any case. So that was one extra line. Git commit main, and it will be gem LetterOpener for development. And that's it. So I guess it's enough now. We've added Devise Confirmable and worked a lot on sending emails in our development environment and in our production environment. You see, it's quite time consuming, all this application setup on the beginning.